our hosts who are not joining us tonight. But welcome. It's good to connect with all of you guys. I personally, I hit a sludge this weekend and I'm moving through it. But man, moving through it and clearing, like taking the turn and clearing, and just, I don't expect ever the lessons will stop. I think that the more karmically that I move through my own shit, the more things will lighten. But I'm definitely noticing the inspiration to show up in new ways to my life so that these lessons are lighter and, just like we move through them in a more transparent kind of easy way. So much growth and things happening here. Let's just actually hold that space as we grow here, because growth takes on a lot of different looks. Sometimes it's sticky and mucky and we crawl through it. And then the more we learn how to do it, the more we do it in an enlightened way, the more we come together to support each other. We learn about each other. We learn to collaborate. We learn to just stay in this as a team and continue to build it. Coach Nick and I have lots of big dreams and aspirations for the entire academy. A lot of specific things for this network, which is continuing to grow and expand at a rate that blows my mind. I'm just really excited to do it with every single one of you. I cannot tell you how many times I wake up and I have so much gratitude for the people who are aligning to create this vision, this movement, who are adding their synergy to this space. And it's just truly an honor. It's also truly an honor to have Coach Nick as our growth director of the academy and the head of the network here. So with no further ado, my friend, I turn it over to you.
Hey, thanks so much, Emily, and appreciate it very much. And Thank you, everybody, for being here and spending a little bit of time with us this evening. And of course, Emily, for everything that you've been doing. I know you've been taking some people through the course as well. Teresa was coming in looking all like she was blown out of the water with Canva. And she was like, I'm still trying to figure it out, Canva. So it's all good. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate it. It's just been a little bit since we've all connected and got together. So we thought it'd be great just to, connect, make sure that we check in and have, some communication. We got a couple announcements, couple things just to, keep you guys in the loop with about. But ultimately, what I really wanted was just for us to connect, jump in a conversation and touch base with everybody, see what everybody's doing. I was hoping to celebrate some wins from this year with everybody. It's been it's been year one for us, right? And it's been an incredible year. So a couple wins. I guess we could start with that. Maybe we can hear from everybody just one major win that you've had. And a win qualifies as anything from a result that you've experienced, something that's been created, some personal growth or spiritual growth that you've personally experienced. And then we can celebrate some overall wins for the academy. And then we'll talk a little bit about the shows, how that's going, a little bit of announcements of what's coming up, where we're at on a couple of the projects that we've got going, and then, anything else that we need to discuss. So it's really just a time for us to touch base. So I'm just going to go across my screen in the way that I see it. So Laura, I see you first. So why don't you celebrate a win with us that you've experienced for this year?
Well, I just actually had a really exciting opportunity just kind of like land on my lap. Last week I got a call from a producer that he does like comedy stuff, and he wanted to do a skit, like a fun feng shui thing, and I come in as the expert, and it's supposed to be, humorous. And there was the guy from SNL, I think, what was it, Jay Farrow, and then this other guy, Reggie Watts. They're both like comedic actors. And they called me on a Tuesday to shoot the very next day on a Wednesday. And it was very impromptu, and it was great. It'll be my first IMDb, and we're in talks to perhaps do other collaborations. And it's kind of like, it's a really great way to build my brand. They kept referring to me as the feng shui lady and all this stuff. And it was fun. It was like exciting because I'd been reached out to before, but it's never panned out from, like VH1 or this or that. And then finally, it was just like a breakthrough, and it was really exciting and fun.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, congratulations, and thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Awesome. And so then the next person I see is Rhonda. So Rhonda, why don't you celebrate some wins, something that you could celebrate from this year so far?
We're still we're on episode 48 this time. So considering, I thought, oh yeah, it'll last 3 months maybe. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And all the people, like, I can't believe some of the people we've been able to get on here. Have you guys ever heard of the Paranormal Podcast?
I think so.
Yeah, he's coming on our show.
Shut up!
Jim Harold. Yeah. And he apologized for not getting back to us right away, which I went, oh my God. I just wrote him and asked him, and look, he said yes. So yeah. And we have a couple other really cool people coming on that, you know, it's just like, it's unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. That's all I can say. It's been awesome. And yeah, it's been mind expanding, mind blowing. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. We just followed Teresa's example of asking people. Almost asked Greg Braden today for you, Teresa. Just thought I'd tell you that. But just didn't quite get there.
Oh, sorry guys. The thing, it totally froze up for me. So I didn't hear your wins.
We've been doing really well. You'll get to get some surprise guests. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, congratulations. And I'm sorry I missed that. Yeah, everything froze up for me. Awesome. And Robin, can you celebrate some wins from your year so far?
Robin.
Yeah, certainly. First of all, just the fact that, you know, I'm going on, I don't know, coming up on a year here on the podcast. I know when I first started with you guys, I was like, oh, every Wednesday, okay, I hope I'll be able to do this. And it's just like, I can't wait for a Wednesday to come. And it's just been so smooth. So that's a big win. And this year for my brand, I purposed to launch my studio school on Teachable. And I also purposed to start a book project and get support from, you know, my tribe, you know, over on Patreon. And both of those things have happened, and it's just going really well. It's building, you know, consistently. And I'm really excited about the idea of being able to meld a brand between art and the right brain with spirituality and all that we talk about on Conversations with Gaia. So yeah, excited.
Love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And I've got Kira next. Kira Lani, can you share a win, something that you've experienced this year so far?
Wow, this year has been like a string of transformation. So hard to pick just one win, but I think the biggest one is the creation of full moon retreats, virtual retreats with Teresa and some of our other Akashic Academy hosts, including Emily this last time. And one of the attendees who has bought the package commented to me, wow, they're just getting deeper and better every time. And I said, I know, it's amazing. So I went from having to force myself to get on a video at all, public speaking training all year. So also recorded, which I will be sharing soon, my TED Talk style talk earlier this year, to having a following and making videos and virtual classes and retreats. Lots of big wins, and I'm really excited for 2019 because I think the real biggest win is that this year I've actually laid a foundation for a business that is starting to function like a business. Yes.
Yes, awesome. Great stuff. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. And so the next person I have in my screen is Christy. So Christy, can you share some wins, some things about this year that have gone well for you?
Yeah, just the fact that I have a show. I never would have thought that I would have done that. And I think it's been almost, I don't know, a week or so of it being like a year since Emily asked me that. And I was like, oh, let me get back to you. And then And then the ideas started coming in, and it was like, okay, this is what I must be supposed to be doing. So yeah, so just the fact that I'm here, and you know what, every week I have the best viewers. I mean, they're so supportive. And every week they show up, and like I said, and almost always they have just wonderful things to say and to share. You know what I mean? So I don't deal with a lot of things that some people do, because I think my intentions, because I set them and so clearly, and it just opens up that space for just the positive feedback and comments and things like that. So I'm just grateful for that, just to not be involved in any kind of drama when it comes to that, I suppose. But also I got my Christmas tree up, so that's a win for me this week. Pretty darn good for me. But yeah, so yeah, just the fact that I'm here, that I'm here and I'm alive and still doing this. So yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
And thank you.
And Kathy, I'd love to hear from you some wins, some positive experiences or wins for you from this year.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I'm on I'm down in the Siesta Key portal, the sacred space, and I'm on my mother-in-law's computer. So every time I put my hand up to the thing, the light goes on and it goes off. So I'm kind of in the dark here. So just making sure this works. Yeah, I mean, just keeping the session, the shows, the people that, like I ditto with Christy. The people on the shows are just amazing and supportive. You guys, and being here has kept me in the, if you want to call it, the energy loop while I do my 3D lodge business, as I call it. And I'm starting now to incorporate all that together, and some pretty big wins with some holistic retreats, and continuing on forward. So I just thank everybody who's here for being here and just supporting everybody. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. And Bex, let's hear some wins from you.
Okay, so I'm trying to contain myself right now because I'm like bursting with excitement. So I would say, as far as our show, my expansion and growth as a host and at a soul level every single week has been absolutely amazing, to be able to experience the up-leveling every single week with all the guests we bring in, all the conversations we have. That has been huge for me, to be able to just connect with others in that way. For the Academy, it's been such an honor and a win for me, not only in doing what we do with the fundraising that we've done, the marathons and all that. That's been huge for me, to be able to experience that and be a part of something so powerful and giving to others. But we have been able, it's helped me to be able to reach out to people that I normally wouldn't. I've even messaged the Dalai Lama and invited him on, which he hasn't responded, but I did it, and that was big for me. That was a big win. But now we have a special coming up in January with Charles Virtue and his wife, Parashni Naidu. That's huge. That's going to bring in a whole nother level of awareness for the Academy that, is just so exciting, because this is again, it's like hitting the next level for all of us. And I'm so excited to be on this journey with all of you. And yeah, so I'm super grateful, and those are huge wins for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. And Teresa, can you share some wins that you've experienced this year?
Man, there's been so many. It's exciting, and I appreciate Rhonda and Bex and all of us for being together and growing the way we've grown. And the thing is, not only do we get all of our heroes on the show, we get background scenes with them. When we're meeting them, we get activations and so much more than what goes on our show. It's like the show only gives you guys a little bit of what we get. And so the growth is amazing. And yes, I have asked Greg Braden, Lee Carroll, Teal Swan, and, so there's still a list of those, Lipton, or, there's so many. most of the people say yes. And so I just know our second year is going to be even bigger. And the thing is, it's fun running into fans. And it's like, fans, us? Emily, it wasn't that long ago when we were just barely confident to do anything. And so here we are, so professional. So I'm proud of us girls, and I'm proud of the Akashic Academy. Look how much it's grown since our very first meeting with Emily, when we were learning to read the records. And now look at all the people we get to meet, all the other hosts. And then Coach Nick helping us to run our businesses. Who could live without that? So, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Teresa. I love the energy and vibe, and I appreciate everything you shared there. So thank you so much. And Lee, can you hear us? I know Krista's doing mommy duty, so I won't ask. And Lee, I'm not sure if you're just tuning in.
Hey, it's Krista. I have a minute, so I could share too.
Oh, please do. Yeah, go ahead. So Krista share, and then Lee share after.
Okay. I didn't. Lee, are you sure you don't want to go ahead?
No, you're good. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Okay. Well, I was, getting all excited. I'm all vibed high thanks to Teresa. But I was, pulling out my little list because I had a list of goals at the beginning of the year. And, it was really amazing, and my heart just kind of filled and swelled because I really, reached a lot of goals. And I was kind of in the same space as the last few, ladies that have spoken, that I'm just so thankful to be a part of this community, and that you guys have helped me reach these goals. One of which was, launching a show and speaking my truth to the world. And I don't think I could have had that confidence without you guys, honestly, truly. And also launching my own little healing business. I did that, this year, and it's still, in the baby phases, which is fine because I'm mom tasking all the time, but it's still amazing that I was able to make that step. And then the other thing is I've, completed my Reiki classes, and I'm going to be attuned to be a master. Thanks to Miss Robin. And so that is just such a blessing to me as well this year. And then the third thing, which I don't share with the whole world, but I know that I can be open and raw with this beautiful community, is something that's very personal to me. It's been 1.5 years since I've been on pharmaceutical medicine, specifically, antidepressants and things of that nature, as well as hormone therapy. And I'm just so grateful to still be able to maintain this high vibration. And I also attribute that to you as a community as well. So thank you all. Those were my awesome things to share with you.
Thank you so much for sharing, and really appreciate that. So great work and great job. And Lee, what we're doing is we're just celebrating some wins, just doing a little reflection of some of the positives, some of the good stuff over this year. So we'd love to hear from you.
Okay. Well, I just want to echo everyone else, and I'm super grateful to have the platform because I'm connecting with so many amazing people that watch. And having a platform where everybody has the same goal in mind, and meeting like-minded people, it makes the connection that much deeper. And it's like extended family because they actually care when things happen with me, and vice versa. And so it's really nice to make that kind of a connection. So I'm just really grateful to have this, going forward, and excited to see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. And Emily, why don't you chime in and give us some wins that you've experienced for this year?
Yeah. All right. I'll keep it short. One of the biggest personal wins that I've experienced, of course, you guys get to experience the outward ones, the collective ones with me, with Nick, as we all grow together. Some of my own personal ones that I'll share with you guys are, of course, I've been doing this show side by side with Nick, the Akashic Show, since we started, but I was able to bring back my own personal show, Akashic Answers with Emily, this year. And before, when I was doing that, I was just doing it on my own. I hadn't really done it yet with Coach Nick's guidance, the formulas. I was just getting on, showing up and letting it come out of me, whatever was coming out, which I think is entertaining to a certain point. But Coach Nick taught me how to put it into a form with formulas that are, and I know that we've all talked about the gratitude that we have for the various stages of business that we're in and being able to come forward with that. But I've hit the stage of, where I'm starting to get in, like, abundance rolling in, where, like, I haven't worried about money for months, and that's huge for me. This is one of the biggest issues of my life, is learning to maintain and control and, like, balance my finances and have abundance and prosperity and be able to take care of my kids, the shit that they need. Like, I got 3 kids playing all kinds of winter sports. That stresses me out. I'm not stressed out about that. And being able to figure out how to put all of these pieces together and to get moving in this energy has freed up so much mental and emotional space that I spent churning in my issues before, that there's just so much room for even more expansion. And for that, I'm just super grateful. It's a big win for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Yeah, fantastic. So we have a little, I don't know if you guys know, some of you know, and I know Kira already did it, but when we're celebrating wins, we like to anchor the wins. So one thing about celebrating wins, it's that it's not just like, oh, this is some good stuff, but what you've done is you've acknowledged to yourself, this is where we're growing. And then what we want to do is we want to anchor the collective wins, because we together are growing. So we're holding space for each other. We're creating the energy around each other to hold each other up. And it's a wonderful thing. And the way we anchor in our body, so I know some of you know it, but we take our 2 fists like this, little fun, and we go 1, 2, 3, and we go, yes, and we anchor it into our body. So hold on, let's do it together. Actually, everybody come off mute. Come off mute. I want to hear the yeses. All right. All right, hold on. All right, I think everybody's off mute. All right, we're going to do it together. 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. So really great job, everybody. Just some collective wins that I think that we should all celebrate is, so at the beginning of the year, we had about 1,500 people connected with our network here. We have over 10,000 people, over 11,000 followers. And the year's not out, right? We're in November, but, so we're going to, I think that we could, probably hit to 11,000 by the end of the year, which is going to be close to 10 timesing the amount of influence and people that are connecting with us. And guys, this is just year 1, and that's due to the collective effort, right? No, I don't think, any one of us might have been able to achieve that by ourselves. But collectively, because we're working together as a team, we're really all able to have a bigger reach with our messages and what we're bringing to the planet at this time. It's only going to compound as we move forward. So now as we move into 2019, I mean, that's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I really want you to keep the long-term vision in mind of what we're creating. We've really laid down a sweet foundation, which I think is another win. We've had some challenges over the year, right? We've had a little bit of, some change in team members, some change in the way we're doing things. We've had some technology challenges, Janelle, if you're watching the recording, I'm looking at you, right, yeah, right. We've had some, there's been challenges too. And I think that we've come through, overall, I think we've come through those challenges gracefully. I think we've come through it in a way where, we've held the ability to show a growth within each other, to come to understandings, to come to agreements, to learning how to be flexible. Because it's one thing that when you're by yourself and you're doing your thing, that's fine, right? But in actuality, I think that we're really creating a nice blueprint in year 1 here to be able to work as a collective. And this is the importance of that is what we're doing internally, but how that also sets the tone for others to follow, for others to look at that, for others to see that actually the way to really create change is through collaboration. Right? And I think that we've done a really great job doing that. And also I think that we should know that whatever challenges we face this year, there'll be more, because that's just the nature of growing an organization like we're growing. It's just the nature of this world. But I'm really happy to do it with all of you guys, and to do it in such a way where, again, we're all growing, learning, and because we're holding a spiritual space, we all can reflect and see where we can grow and where we can get better. And I just appreciate all of you guys for supporting us through all the ups and downs, the bumps along the way, and the bumps that are still to come as we move forward. So I think that's a really big win. And then just lastly, I just want to acknowledge each of you, because I've seen you guys grow tremendously. I know I'm a little bit quiet on the chats and a little bit more, quiet in the sense of like, the sort of the group stuff. But I watch and I look and I see the tremendous amounts of growth. I mean, the spirit session ladies, just as an example, I saw you guys when, you first launched the show, and even the way you even show up now, like on camera and stuff, it's like night and day, it's like, whoa, back off, right? Who are these confident ladies coming through, right? Where, before I was like, I don't know if we can do this. And, and that's just one example of many, all of you guys, I've seen you guys grow tremendously, and the confidence that's coming through on the shows. I get messages. I talk to a lot of people, right, behind the scenes, and I had a Hollywood producer say, I can't believe what you guys are doing with the Academy. This is awesome. And, people are watching, people are looking, and I tell people about the Academy all the time. I'm like, oh, you got to check out the shows, check out what we're doing. And they're blown away by the shows. Like, they're just blown away. They're like, wow, I can't believe you guys are doing this. And it's so unique. Nobody is doing this. Like, I don't really see anybody else. Hey, hugs are for everybody. I don't see anybody else doing this, right? Like the way that we're doing it. And again, we're really just warming up, because you can just imagine in the next few years what's going to be created. So just want to acknowledge each and every single one of you for all your growth, for all that you've stepped up. And I want you to hold a long-term vision for yourself. Imagine what it's going to be like next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, when we have over 100,000 people connected with the Academy, when we start to talk about numbers like hundreds of thousands and millions of people connected with the Academy, and the opportunities that each of you are going to have because of that, and you're pioneering this. A lot of people, I promise you this, I promise you in a year to 2 years, some people are going to be like, oh, I should have joined up and I should have stuck it out, or I should have just, stuck through those beginning years, but you see the vision, and I promise you that some people are going to be kicking themselves in the butt, but I know you guys are going to be like just enjoying the fruits of what we're laying down, because it's not easy what we're doing. And I really want to acknowledge that. It's not easy. It's a commitment. You're showing up every week. You came here at the start. You trusted in Emily. You trusted in myself. You trusted in the vision. You trusted in yourselves to do it. And it's paying off big time. And it's only going to continue to do that. So just thank you. Thank you so much. And Robin, go ahead. I know you want to add something.
No, actually I have a question, because I've heard you in the, previous meetings talk about how unique this platform and what we're doing are. And I find myself always wondering, wow, I'd like a couple of talking points from you as to what, how we are distinctive or different. So if you could give me a couple talking points, I'd love that in terms of understanding our difference. Yeah, sure. The first thing that we're really different is, there's a couple things about this. Okay. When myself and Emily first started connecting, and, we had a lot of discussion around spirituality in general, right? And I just chalked her up at first to another crazy healer, right? But actually there was something really different about Emily that I really gravitated towards. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And one thing was that, our very first tagline for the Academy was bringing different spiritual practices together under one roof. Now, while that's not our outgoing tagline, that spirit is still very much alive within the Academy and everything that we do, where we are building diversity into it. Myself and Emily, as an example, come from very different ways of looking at, or very different language, I should say,
at looking at spirituality and the way that we approach spiritual growth. But yet we could understand that beyond the language and differences that we're pointing to the same thing, that we can learn from each other. And that has spread all across in the nature. So one thing that is different is that most platforms are very like saying kind of the same things, or the message is the same, but we are actually, each of us, each show, like just look at the collective group here, your show, Conversations with Gaia, Spirit Sessions. Then we've got the Feng Shui lady, right? You know, then we've got like Tree Gong. I never even knew what Tree Gong was until I met Kira, right? Kathy with the multidimensional stuff, Christy with her, Christy brings a very unique perspective and energy to what she's doing. You know, all of you guys are bringing different ways of connecting with the divine and different ways of expressing that divine spirit. And that is what's unique about us, because we're actually like encouraging that. Oh yeah, you've got a different message. You have a whole different thing. Go ahead, talk about it, and we will accept it. We will welcome it under this roof. So this is a roof for everybody. And so that's one thing that makes us unique. The other thing that makes us unique is that we've decided to, in our energy, go up against, you know, the CNNs and Fox Newses of the world. Because another conversation myself and Emily had that sparked the Academy was, well, you know, we were talking, I can't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about CNN and news and just the constant negative news that people are essentially being bombarded with. I said, well, how are we going to counteract that? What is it that we could do to contribute to actually uplifting? And the goal was, what if we could create a 365-day, 24/7 network where people could plug into spiritually uplifting conversations and experiences and news that would uplift them. And the Akashic Academy was born. So what makes us different is just the bigness within the vision of what we're playing. We want to be the alternative to that. To the current machine that runs the show, we want to, you know, offer a different machine, if you will, right? We want to offer a different path for people, which makes us unique in the sense of we're not just a radio station that's like, oh, you know, we've got these great show hosts, listen to it. These are great entertainment. What we're actually trying to do is get people to shift how they consume information. The other thing that makes us unique is that we put on shows and not just Facebook Lives. This is very unique, okay? So on social media, and some of you have heard me make this prediction before that, and I know Emily has, where I've said that social media will become the entertainment of the future. And there is one reason why I really make that prediction and stand behind that is because of live interaction. You see, I can watch Oprah Soul Sunday, but I can't text Oprah a message, and I can't, as the viewer, interact with her or her guest, and I can't influence the show. But when a viewer watches your show and leaves a comment, they are actually interacting with you, which makes it unique, and they're influencing the show by their questions. Because as soon as you acknowledge that and you start to talk about their question, they have directly influenced the show. So we are co-creating the actual experience with the viewer. That's what each and every single one of you are doing. And the more that you co-create it with your audience, the more your audience will become loyal to your show because they will feel like they're involved. And I'm telling you, this is ahead of its curve. That even, like I said, a guy named Paul Judge, who's worked with Sharon Stone and all kinds of different, he said to me, he said, Nick, what you're creating is what's going on in backroom talks right now in Hollywood. Like what you guys have already are doing, they're just talking about going, how are we going to do this? And he's like, you watch these guys, they're already doing it. So what makes us unique is we're not just doing Facebook Lives, but we're creating actual shows, and that's to legitimize our broadcasting tool. so that we're not just going on and just being like, hey, like everybody else, just jumping on Facebook Lives and talking off the cusp, but we're actually producing our show. So there's both an entertainment as well as an education value to it. Does that answer some of the questions?
Yeah, that's a huge help, because I've often wondered that when you said it. I know there was a whole backstory to it, but you know, I've taken a lot of that for granted. So you highlighting it really helps me to kind of hone in on talking points and also the way I perceive my show and working with the network. So that's perfect. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question. I appreciate you asking. And actually, I appreciate it because we should all know that, because we should all hold that value. And so when you're even talking to people about the academy or the network or what you're doing, come with that kind of vision to them, right? Like say, this is what we're actually doing. Like we are creating something where we're giving people a complete alternative in a way that they spend their time and they consume information. And remember, people get enrolled in the vision because, you know, without vision, the people will perish, meaning without some kind of, and that's what so many people are lacking right now in their life. They're lacking anything to live into. So they get up in the morning, they go to their job, they come home, and there's nothing to be excited about. There's nothing to be like, hey, we're building something here, right? And the Spirit needs to contribute. The essence of the Spirit is to give and receive love. And one of the ways we do that is by creating things, right? By creating in the world. It's what makes us evolve from the animal kingdom, is our ability to create and contribute. And that actual creation process helps us evolve spiritually. So, you know, when you understand that, then you can transfer that to others, and then they can understand that, and it gets more people to buy into what we're doing because they get the why behind it. They get the bigger vision. And again, a lot of people may just see us right now as, oh, this is, oh, they're doing lives, they're doing shows. But it's so much, it's going to be so much more to that. And as time goes on, it's going to be more and more evident of how it is so much more than that, right? Yeah, wonderful. So thank you. So speaking of vision, let's talk a little vision for 2019, okay? So a couple things that I just want to bring to your program. We've been talking about an affiliate program since the day we started this. We're like, guys, a couple months, we're going to have an affiliate program to you. Almost a year later, we are totally like, you know, biting our tongues and trying to scream out of the lack of that. However, we have an affiliate program coming to you. I promise you that we do. And where we are at in it is we are actually filming we're recording the first presentation for it. The back end work is mainly done. Paul has already created it. Tomorrow, myself and Emily are getting together for the first take of the recording. It's a 15-minute presentation that will explain the vision of the Academy, right? So once we have that done, which will be done, we're doing the first recording tomorrow. Probably there'll be a couple more recordings after that to get it good enough to send out. And we are really hoping, and I'm going to loosely say hope because you guys know how this goes, but we are really hoping that we'll be launching this in January to start the new year off. When we do have it official, we will do a tutorial. We will show you how it all works. We will show you how you're going to get paid, what the opportunity is. And then from there, we're going to show you how exactly you can start to generate income with the Academy. And that is going to explode everybody, because now each and every single one of you will have the ability to say, hey, come join us inside of the Academy and do something with us and get paid for that. So all of your shows now, you can directly, of course, and you should be directing people back to your own services and business as they learn, and directly you'll be able to say, hey, you know, and by the way, you're watching this on the Academy, come join, and when they join through you, you'll be able to get paid from them. You will be getting paid. That's why we upped the price. So we were $11.11, right? We went to $44.44. One of the main reasons we did that was so that we could actually offer you guys more than $5 per person that signs up, right? We thought, okay, this is going to take a very long time for anybody to make some real income here. So the way that it's going to work is that you're going to be paid $22.22 per person that signs up for lifetime. If they become a lifetime member, you will receive your $22 per person. So you can start to imagine that's going to add up quickly. After 100 people have signed up through you, right? You know, you're making a couple grand residually, passively. Not only that, we're also offering and building in, there will be a percentage of ongoing sales after that. So let's say that after that, they work with the Freedompreneurs Club to learn to build their business. You will also get a percentage of that. They take the Learn to Reach Your Records course. You will get a percentage of that. They have, right? So, you know, there will be so anybody you introduce, there will be they will stick with you for as long as they do business with the Academy or something, they will stick with you. So you'll get paid for that. Our goal is for those who want is to eventually have people working full time with us so that we can do this full time. We can be all out. We can just be focused on this. Our goal is to eventually have events, live events, where we all get together and have live events, and our members and you guys as the hosts are putting on seminars and shows, and there's a shared income. That's the big vision. That's, you know, the few years, that's what we're building out towards. So that's something that we should look forward to in 2019, is our affiliate program finally being launched. I encourage you to keep inviting people to the Academy page. We're at 10,000. I would love to see us times it by 5, 50,000 by the end of 2019, right? At minimum, you know, we'll take more, right? But really just expanding out beautifully, and we should all hold space for exponential growth. Be fruitful and multiply. One seed produces many apples. Similarly, we continuously put effort consistently as we're doing. It is a ripple effect. It is expanding and growing. Okay, I love you guys going after, you know, the Dalai Lama and Teal Swan, and, you know, keep doing that. Keep putting it out there. Everybody should be doing that. You should all, you know, if you have guests on your show, you should be going after the biggest names, the biggest people. Because and don't worry if they say yes or no. What you're doing is we're creating that intention. We're saying, hey, we are a force, so we want to connect with others who are a force, right? And we're going to attract that. And if we're all doing that, you know what? We all help each other. Because, for instance, you know, you leverage it. How you use the Academy is this. It's Charles, right? Virtue. Right, he's the big guy, right? So this guy is, well, I don't know him, but he's well known, right? So this guy is well known. So in that way, right, everybody actually should use that, because what you do, it's called success by association, and here's how you do that. Now you approach someone else and you say, well, look, I'm actually part of the Akashic Academy, and on the Academy, we have featured Charles Virtue, and we have featured blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying? So that's how we use each other as a collective, because we're a team. So yes, he may be on spirit sessions with our spirit sessions ladies, but as a team, he's on the Akashic Academy, and therefore you are associated with the Akashic Academy, so you can use that. And what it does is it helps everybody. Because now let's say Laura goes and gets some SNL guy to come and be on the show. Well, now Spirit Sessions ladies gets to go, hey, Dalai Lama, and hey, whoever, we've had Charles Virtue, and we've had the SNL guy, and we've had, you get it, right? So as a collective, you use the successes of each other. That's why we're a team. We're supposed to be using each other, openly, right, to bank on each other's successes. So that is how you can actually use the Academy to grow. When you approach, for instance, let's say you want to be part of a summit, and they're like, well, how many followers do you have? You say, well, look, I'm part of the Akashic Academy, and we have over 10,000 likes on our page. You see, you bank the leverage of that. That's the whole point of being here, is that we're all creating collective credibility, so that in your individual projects, you're also banking that, you're using that, right? You know, I was on they asked me, well, how many followers do you have? I said, well, on my personal page, I got a couple thousand, but on the Akashic Academy page, we have over 10,000. They're like, oh, okay, wow. Right, all of a sudden, it's like you're in, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, you get right. You know, so you have to use that. That's why you're here. It's all available for you. I want you to be equipped with that, and that's why I'm, 50,000. Imagine when you approach someone and they're like, well, tell me about your show, and you're like, well, look, we got 50,000 followers. We get a couple hundred viewers live, plus 5,000-10,000 views per show. You're gonna attract some big names are going to say yes, and you're not, and only that, imagine what you're going to be able to do for somebody, right? One of the things I love to do personally, I get a real joy out of giving people platforms, like setting them up to do big things, right? And one of the things you'll be able to do for somebody, maybe a healer that's super talented, but they need a boost in their audience and credibility. Well, when you've got 10,000 views per show, you're now in a very influential position to give a big boost to somebody else, to say, hey, come be on my show, let me feature you, and let me get you out to get you out to at least a few hundred people like that, So the power and influence that each of you are going to have as time moves on is going to continue to increase, and you're going to be able to do really good things with that, okay? So let's keep it moving forward. Affiliate program, we're right there. We're ready to launch. We've got a big vision for 2019. Keep inviting people to the academy and keep doing your handoffs, that promoting each other. Hey, coming up next, like on the Akashic show, we're like, hey guys, coming up next, we've got Brad Johnson, then we've got the Feng Shui lady. We got a full week. Edify each other. Edify the academy. What you give, you receive. When you edify the academy and you're excited and enthusiastic about it, people will catch that and they will gravitate towards that and they will edify you back because you're teaching them by example how to do it. So we're always edifying each other. We're always building up each other. And in this way, we're setting the tone for how others can communicate and edify us. Okay? So that was just a few things I wanted to announce. I did want to update you guys on the affiliate program. So let's take a few minutes now. There's about 10 minutes. If you've got any questions, thoughts, or comments, we'll go ahead. So Laura, we'll go with you because I see your hand up. Then we'll go with Robin. Was there anybody else? Okay, Bex. Then we'll go with Bex. Then we'll go with Teresa and Kira. Okay, so to try to keep the time right, we've got about 10 minutes. So please keep your question just to the point or your comment to the point so we can get everyone in. Go ahead, Laura. You're on mute. You're on mute. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, hold on. Are you sure I'm on mute? Can you hear me?
No, we're good. You're good now.
Okay, good. So speaking of exposure and supporting each other, I don't really have a team, and I would love to, like, I don't know, maybe Krista, I'd love to, Amanda, whatever. I'm not much of a morning person, but I can like share like later and if anybody wants to help support my show, I'd really appreciate it. A little extra exposure couldn't hurt. And I know a lot of people are already committed to other shows, and it's a lot, but I don't know if there's anybody who has a little extra time to share and love.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Emily, question for you. Are we still doing the teams? Because I know at one point we actually put a hold on it just because there were some issues of we didn't know what was going on. So what is everybody still running those teams?
I don't know. We'll have to check in with everybody and see what they're doing. I'm getting on the shows that I authentically get on and share. What we did was we just made a shift to bringing more authenticity to it. While it's a beautiful idea to show up and rally for each other like that, I guess what we were finding was that we had censorship based on crossed an algorithm that triggered inauthentic shares coming from us.
Yeah,
and we
backed off.
Pushed out. So we backed off of it. But I'm not sure what. I'm still authentically sharing when I show up. That's my answer.
So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to move to more of a system here where it's like, please share. Like, I'll make a commitment, Laura, to share your stuff out more, to get you more exposure. And I think that we can all, you know, like just do that a little bit more, right? Look, I'll just tell you, the Coaches and Healers Sangha is a group that you guys are welcome to share in. And that Sangha is growing, and it's growing pretty consistently. So that's another opportunity that you guys have to share. So you're more than welcome to share your shows in there. But just to save a little bit, because we were trying to stay off of Facebook's radar, we backed off a bit on that. Let's just play it over the next couple months, see how it goes, and we may introduce back some rally teams, but we'll have to be careful with that.
No,
Go
I
ahead,
understand. If anyone feels organically aligned to share my stuff, I would love that, and vice versa.
Absolutely, and I'll do that for you too. In terms of where you guys share your posts, please don't share them in the private community or in like the private alcoves of the Akashic Academy, meaning the members only group. Right. It's already confusing enough for people, so please keep members only group, just the stuff that Nick and I are showing up doing, and then interaction and stuff that we're posting. Please don't share extra shows there or extra shows in Learning to Read the Records. But Coach Nick says you can share them in the Sangha.
Yeah, the Sangha is fine. You could totally share that in the Sangha. We've started a new group I put you guys all in called the Show Exchange. We want to grow that group because we want to attract more show members and quality show guests as well. So the purpose of that group is for us, like, if you have a great guest, invite them to the Show Exchange. If you know of a good show, invite them to that is for all of us to use to start to really amplify the quality of guests and quality of shows that we're attracting, that we could be featured on. So you're more than welcome to use that. Another thing I didn't announce is that we will be starting a YouTube channel for us as well. So that's going to come as well in 2019, and we're working towards that. We actually had someone, but then that didn't work out. So we're looking for another person who's going to be taking that over. Most likely we're going to have to invest into somebody to do that, but myself and Emily are already working towards that. And we're going to have somebody run a YouTube channel for us. So all of our shows will eventually we're going to go off live on Facebook, but then we're going to start to build up our YouTube exposure as well. So this is going to start to expand in 2019 beyond Facebook. Okay, we're going to keep working. Facebook right now is our main platform, but then we're going to move from there. That was something else I wanted to mention. So thank you. Okay, Robin, let's go to you next.
Yeah, quickly, you already answered the one I was going to ask about YouTube, where we were with that, because that's a huge boon, especially as it, because you just grow exponentially there. We could be at 100,000 by next year this time by incorporating that Facebook. So that's spot on.
Awesome.
Good. And then the only other thing I was going to ask was with regards to the sharing out, the collective, when people are doing bringing different guests on their shows for us to be able to shout on our show, is there a way that we can kind of maybe find that information on a weekly basis and have a place that we know we can find it so that we can shout it out? Is there a way that we could?
For everybody's shows, you mean like a place for everybody's shows?
Yeah, like we have the group there, but a lot of chatting goes in there. So I don't know if there's a way to put guest really in big letters or something like that. So like Spirit Sessions, when you have, Charles on, we can scroll through that week and see, oh, they have a guest. Oh, some kind of way, because otherwise it's hard to keep up with it.
Yeah. I think as of right now, I don't have a particular solution for that right now, but it's something to keep in mind. I think when you have a big guest or something that you just gotta make it known within the group chat, right? And as of for now, but I'm not sure that we have a solution right at this moment. But it's something to keep in mind. I will tell you something that we're working on through myself and Sarah, is we're working on what we're gonna have hopefully in the next month. Is I'm going to call it the Akashic TV guide. Okay. So what we're creating is actually going to be we don't know how to do it yet because there's so many shows, right? So we're still kind of playing with this, but basically what we're going to have is a master schedule. And so that way someone can look like, you know, if you think of TV Guide and you scroll and you see, oh, 7:30, there's this coming on, and 8 o'clock, there's this coming on. So what we're looking to create is a master guide, right? Where we're going to have all of our shows listed. And that way, what we're actually going to do is we can all share out that master guide to work as a team to promote the whole thing. Okay. So that's something that we're looking to do. And what we could do is have like some features on it. Maybe each month we'll feature, or each week we could do something like that. So we're working with some stuff like that, but there's some, you know, just a little bit of figuring out how that's going to all go down.
I have an idea for Robin. I don't know if she's already doing this, but she could do a Ripple thing when she has a big guest. Like every week I try to do a Ripple promo of like who I'm interviewing, if I have a guest, and what it's or what the topic is about. So that makes it a little special. I don't know if it's a paid for app, but I think you have a free trial on it, and it's a nice way to promote a show.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so I think we've used Ripple and such before to do that. So yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, sorry. Who was next in the queue? Who did I say was next after Robin?
Bex to be next. Yep.
Bex?
I'm next.
Okay, Bex. Thanks.
So this isn't a question, but more of an invite, because our 1-year anniversary for Spirit Sessions as the premiere episode of the premiere show of the Akashic Academy, just as scheduling worked out, is January 7th. So we're having our show January 6th, and we wanted to make it a celebration of the Akashic Academy where we can have multiple hosts on, because we can hold that space in the Blue Jeans platform, to share a piece of advice, you know, for the upcoming year. So if anybody's interested, message Rhonda, Teresa, or I, so we can collaborate, because we've got, you know, less than 2 months to get this all together. But, you know, celebrate the Akashic Academy. It's our 1 year, and, you know, in the network, and we thought that'd be a really cool thing to do. So. Oh,
awesome. Thank you. That sounds like a fantastic, and thank you for just reminding us of that. So you were the first show to launch out, so that will officially be the anniversary on that day. So we'll make sure that we have some grand celebrations for
and it was a bad episode. It was awful. We watched it recently as a Throwback Thursday. Teresa posted it, and it was so cringy. So cringy. Oh, so yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, well, congratulations, guys, and thank you for being the pioneers here. We appreciate it. Awesome. And I think Teresa was next after that.
Yes. Hi. This morning I was asking you about next Saturday. We need to have a special episode of Spirit Sessions next Saturday at 9:30 Eastern Time, because our guest is from Japan. And he can't do it. Like if we did it on Sunday, that would be his Monday, and he's got clients the next day. It's like 2 a.m. for him. Okay. So
do we have a show on, I don't have the schedule with me. Do we have a show at that time? You guys can totally do it as long as it doesn't conflict with an existing show. Right? Yeah. So I don't think it does, but can you just put a message out to the group as a whole and just say, hey guys, just double check with me, because I don't have the schedule, but I think you're okay, and you guys are more than welcome to do that.
Yeah, because Krista's show doesn't start till like 11 Central Time. I guess that's noon Eastern Time, and so Krista's
12.
show. Yeah, so this is like way earlier before Krista's show and before.
Krista, are you the first show? Krista, are you the first show on Saturday?
Yes, I think I might be the only show.
Yeah. The only show.
Oh, okay.
And it's 12 Eastern, 11 Central, and I don't 9 Pacific, I think.
Okay, so you're good to go, Teresa, and you guys, you're more than welcome. Yeah, thank you. And that's another thing, guys. Like, if you want to do some special event or something, just please check in with me. Just because, again, here's the basic rule or guideline that I've set out. It cannot conflict. Anything we do cannot conflict with an existing show in that time zone, because that has always priority, right? But we have a lot of space open in the Academy. I don't want it can't become a free-for-all where you can just like everybody's just doing all good, because we want some normality to it, right? Again, like television, where people get, oh yeah, you know, this is my favorite show at this time, and we want people to get really used to that, right? But if you want to do something special or something like that, then bring it forward, and we'll be happy to work with you guys as much as we can. Hi. So awesome. Thank you, Teresa.
Hi.
And hi.
Sorry. Clarabelle says hi. Sorry. Keep going.
No worries. That's cool. Rhonda, I see you. I said Kira next. So we'll go Kira, then Rhonda. Now, we are a few minutes over time. So I'll stay on, answer more questions, but I do want to acknowledge that we are a few minutes over time. So if you have to go or feel like, okay, then please feel free to leave. And if not, hang out with us some more. So go ahead, Kira. We'll go Kira, then we'll go Rhonda, then we'll go Janelle.
Okay, I just had a quick question about this schedule. We keep dancing around it. I thought it was going to be answered by now, but do we have a current schedule that you can send to us? Because I got a little bit confused with all the show changes, and I don't know who the next show is after me right now.
Okay, myself and, like I said, we're working on a master schedule, right? We're putting something together nice. For that, but just give me a couple days and I'll get you an updated schedule. But does anybody know the answer to that? Who's after Kira, so she could be promoting them?
Christy might. I say I might. I had to think about it, but I go trust Christy before you go me.
Yeah.
Okay, Christy.
There's not another show on Tuesdays other than mine and Kira, so it'd be Wednesday, the first show on Wednesday. So I think that's Emily's, right?
Oh, it's me. I'm after you.
So Emily, Robin, and Sifu Boggy are on Wednesdays.
Okay, got it.
Love you.
Awesome. Thank you, Christy.
Oh, and when you're done, I just had a quick question, but I'll let them go ahead.
Okay.
Sounds like Wednesday is the same as what I have if I look up my other schedule. And feedback about the sharing thing really quickly. I had a couple of times when I shared somebody's show and it said, this goes against Facebook community guidelines. And I looked at the guidelines and it didn't. So every time it happens, I just say, please look at this again. And then it comes back and says, oh, actually, this doesn't go against our community guidelines. So we are going to post it after all.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, that's why we chilled out a little bit with the rallies, because I think we kind of got sparked. So I think mainly we're okay. I know there's been a few things here and there, but mainly we're okay.
Yeah, it seems like as long as you're not oversharing, it's sporadically problematic, but it seems okay to still do some.
Yeah, that's, and again, you know, we have to go after the organic traffic. We have to go after the organic shares, you know, and really, you know, and make sure that we're doing that. I just think we were really like pumping it out with the rally teams, right? And I think we just got into, I think that Facebook was like, y'all need to chill out a little bit. So
okay.
Yeah, so I think we're okay. It seems like everything's working fine and smooth now. But again, that's why we're also going to be building the YouTube channel, and we're going to spread out beyond that. You know, eventually the overall goal, this, you know, will take some time, but is eventually to be on all platforms, right? Have an Akashic Twitter account, like everything, be everywhere. You know, but of course that takes manpower to be able to do that, right? So we'll build it as, you know, brick by brick, sort of say. All right, awesome. Thanks, Kira. Go ahead, Rhonda.
My quick, I just wanted to, something that came to my mind when you're talking about doing a master schedule, if you can have a downloadable link to a PDF that our viewers can download, and we can put it in like our links and stuff when we do it.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Then people can do that. That just came up, and then we also would all be able to download it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think our website. So the way that, just to be very open about how it works with our website, Paul is our website guy and tech guy, and basically we pay Paul. We have him on a monthly like payment, right? Which allots us like so much time with him each month. Right. So to keep in budget, we have to spread our projects out, right? To just keep things. So one of the things that I would love to see on the website is, that downloadable PDF. And I would like to see a whole page dedicated to like you guys, the show hosts, and what we've got on the go. But it's right now our priority has been the affiliate program, and we've kind of put, because we've had some other things and ideas, and we're like, nope, to get this affiliate program going. So, but that's something we will keep in mind as we move forward. I appreciate that idea. Just writing it down.
I got a quick hit that I'll just share while Nick is, because he doesn't multitask well. I know this about him after working with him for a long time. Here's where, what'd you say?
I said I'm a guy, one thing at a time.
One thing at a time. I just got a quick little download, just awareness to understanding. If you share somebody's broadcast and then you instantly get off of it, or you share out a bunch of places and then you get off of the broadcast, that's where the algorithm gets triggered. If you stay on the broadcast and you watch, then you're authentic in that way. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I think, Christy, you were next.
Janelle.
Oh, then Janelle.
Janelle's next. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Janelle, go ahead. Yeah. Thank you, Christy.
Just a quick thing. I was wondering if anyone can point me in the right direction for having multiple hosts. What is the best platform, do you think? And I understand that BeLive has now changed their payment processing. Anyone got any?
Well, Blue Jeans we found is pretty easy, and pretty stable for somebody like you, because you can imagine. No. Honestly, no, because Teresa, Bex, and I blew it up all the time. BeLive. We couldn't hold. The three of us blew it up all the time, especially when we were nervous.
I thought you meant my technological challenging. I'm actually activating my Sirian to get on board with this stuff. I'm like, come on. Okay, we need to sort this shit out.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I was saying, like, Orange Cowboy can't be wrong. He says Blue Jeans is pretty high vibe.
Can you have three? Well, you guys have got 3 people, and then you can do a guest as well.
We can do like a Zoom meeting. We can have the Brady Bunch on.
Cool. Can I message you guys, or can I message you?
Yeah,
to have a chat about a few things.
Yeah, and it's got a 30-day free trial.
Cool. Okay. All right. I want to message you.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Well, yeah, I'm home. I'm up still for a while. Barely, but I will be.
It's daytime here and I'm barely up. Like, whoa.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Is that your only question for now, Janelle?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good to see you. And Christy.
Yes. I do, by the way, jump on some shows, usually during the day if I just see it pop up and I say hi. And I share it to, like, there's 3 groups that I share it to, and one of them's Lightworkers Live Feeds, and then there's 2 other ones that seem to be, people to share to, and it's okay because it's kind of like overall live feed shows. And I usually have to hop off and go do whatever, but I do, I'll say hey and I'll share it out, and then I got to go and do something else, and it seems to work fine for me. So. I mean, I think it's really changed recently. I think they're allowing it more so. I think it just depends on where you're doing it. And I've found certain ones that are better than others to share to, but usually like the live feed places, they're pretty okay with it. So it seems to be working pretty well. And like I said, I do as many as I see just come up when I'm on, happen to be working online or something, and it just pops up. I'll just share it out and say, hey, and then go on and do whatever I'm doing. But I usually do them earlier in the day, though. So if it's like an evening one, I'm not online that much in the evening. So that's the reason why if I'm not sharing out your show in the evening, it's just because I'm with my family. So yeah. But I do share out a good bit of the shows. The other thing is if we have someone, I know we said no scheduling before the show, but I know there are some that do that anyway. But is that okay to do occasionally? Like if we have someone and they really want to be able to share it out, but not be interrupted, during the show or something, especially.
I didn't know anybody was. I didn't think anybody was doing that. So generally,
there's some, but I think like Paul, and it's okay because he's got back-to-back shows, and with Robin, so that, I guess that's the easiest way for them to do that. But there's a couple of others, but I didn't know if it was okay to do that if it's just like 30 minutes before the show, if there's no one else before you.
Yeah, actually, I think that we shouldn't do that. I don't think we should do that because the whole reason we went away from that is because once you post, it goes to the top, and then it keeps basically whoever's live, we want them to be the last post so that they're at the top of the page when they're live. So we really shouldn't be pre-scheduling your shows out. So yeah, if anybody's doing that, if you guys cannot do that, because especially as we add more shows, it'll just get messier and right? We're trying to keep the page as messier and messier, if that's a thing, right? But what we're trying to do is keep the page as clean as possible. So yeah, let's just, the overall, what we're doing is we're just going live at the time, right? And we really just have to work with that. Because what's starting to happen is we have other shows coming down the pipeline in pre-production, right? So what's going to start to happen is right now it's still very open, but what starts going to happen is we're going to start to go back to back. There's going to be a show from 8 till 8:30, then from 8:30 till 9, then from 9 till 9:30, then from 9, right? So like television, right? And once it's like that, which we have to set the guidelines now for it to be like that. We can't have the pre-scheduled shows.
Okay, I just didn't know if anything had changed with that. So I didn't know if it was okay just to do it like 30 minutes or whatever. So I was just checking.
Okay, cool.
Let me just understand, since Paul isn't here and he normally schedules our the one that we do in between the Mother, the Dragon, and the Wuji.
Yeah.
So what do you see? And I can talk to Paul on that to find out. But what do you see?
Yeah, generally what we've asked is no pre-scheduling the show so that it pre-posts. And
but the reason by pre-scheduling, let's say that morning I pre-schedule the show so so it posts up. No, we don't do that. I think what we might be doing is when I'm on my show, before I get off of my show, like about 15 minutes into my show, he puts up the link so that when I get off, there's a link there that I can pop on to go back to back, or else it's a down period. And so he can also be on to get on. So I think it's not the pre-scheduling as much as that.
Yeah, it's pre-scheduling with Be Live, yeah.
Pardon me?
Well, it's a pre-schedule because it puts it on, it's the link's live.
But go ahead, Emily. What is it?
Yeah, it does pre-schedule it, but Nick, the reason they're doing it is because Paul is involved in 2 back-to-back shows, so they can't get there in time without that delay. So that's something that we'll have to figure out.
But we only do it about 15 minutes into the show, so it's not like done in the morning, or it's not even done before my show. My show comes on, and then about 15 minutes into my show, he does a link, so that when we dwindle down, I can hop on and he can be on. And then he puts in so that when he's done with our show, he can pop on his show. So that's done within our hour and a half.
Yeah, I get it. I because you guys are back to back, right? It's fine for now. But I may ask you we may have to look at that, because I just don't want to set a precedent and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, why are they doing this and why are they, right? Like we just have to kind of be uniform. We just have to, So for now, just do it because we have to work together, and I don't, and I get it, but we will have to figure out the logistics of that. And again, right now it's not such a big deal, but again, I'm thinking long term, right? Of like when we're having back-to-back shows going on, we'll have to figure out the logistics of it.
Well, like the networks, we might need to put some commercials in between.
We're making them.
That's right. Yeah. I'm talking about you got to get off one show and onto the other.
That's right. Yeah. So as we grow, we're definitely going to want to unify that. So as of right now, that's fine because it's all within your guys' shows. But as we move forward, we'll have to figure out how to make sure they're unified. So generally, there is no pre-posting, right? You just go live at the time that you are meant to go live, and that's that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. All right,
awesome. Just quickly, just wanted to mention a really good place to share to, apart from Lightworkers live feeds, is Soology. I think they've got about 33,000 now. And it has to be approved when you share that, like they will approve it. But yeah, I know some people were sharing there, but just in case not everyone knew about that platform, and they're very open to that because that's what they do. It's a similar platform where they're doing a lot of live shows and, you know, sharing a lot of esoteric information and, you know, higher consciousness information. So they'd be fully on board with that, you guys sharing your shows.
That's run by Todd Medina. He's big, and Christy and Janella both got their foot in the door with him, so that's a good spot.
Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. All right, perfect, guys. So let's wrap up today's meeting. Thank you guys so much. Just fantastic year overall. Great job. Keep rocking and rolling. We will you know, keep you informed as we, you know, put some of the other pieces in play, the affiliate program being next, YouTube channel coming after that, and we'll be working on the overall master guide as well. So thank you guys so much. Absolutely wonderful, and just keep rocking and rolling. Let us know if you have any questions. Goodbye, everyone.